Hello, everyone. Vegan Cupid here. I am super excited for what I have in store for you today. Before we get started, if you haven't done so, please authorize StreamYard so that I can see your name and your picture when you are commenting. Okay, so you go to streamyard.com/Facebook and you only need to do this once. All right, and it's just going to take a second. So I want to take a moment to welcome all my new group members to the Find Veg Love Facebook group because last week I was interviewed by Chef AJ and she has like over 100,000 YouTube subscribers, which is freaking amazing. And as a result of that video, I've had like at least I think about like 40 new group members. So welcome to the group. I will be doing a welcome intro post, giving you more information about how the group works and sharing a couple of links. But if you are watching live, I would greatly appreciate it if you could just leave a comment and let me know that my sound is okay, because I would hate to go through all this only to find out that nobody could hear me. And there's always technical glitches. So if you are watching live, please leave a comment. Tell me you are here, that you're watching. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay, okay? So I go in and personally read all the comments even before, even if you're watching the replay, and I go in, a couple days later and I personally read and reply to all the comments, okay? So whether you are watching live or the replay, you will be hearing from me, okay? And I would love to hear from you. So, a couple of announcements before we get started with today's topic. You may have seen in my group, but I recently launched my brand new Cupid class. So, this is totally free. It's 36 minutes long, so it's a bit long. So, you want to watch it when you have the time to really focus and pay attention, okay? So, it's totally free. It's hopefully going to really help you out. I have lots of juicy tips in there for you. And so you can go to findveglove.com/Cupid class, and you just have to put in your email address, and then you will get access to the class. All right. So that's one of my announcements. And then the other one is a reminder, in case you haven't seen my posts, about the Zoom Hangouts. So these Zoom Hangouts, also called virtual veg parties, they have been a blast. I've done 2 so far in the past couple of weeks. I did a bunch of them back in April and May. And a couple of weeks ago, I restarted the series. I did the first one was how to date during COVID, and then the second one was wine lovers. Well, in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be doing a fitness lovers one and a bunch of others. So these Zoom Hangouts are a great opportunity to connect with people face to face and make new friends, have a good time. It's totally chill. So I would love to see you in one of those. And if you're watching and if you have any questions about these Zoom Hangouts in specific, just leave a comment and I will answer your questions, okay? So those are all my announcements that I had. And so today I have a very special guest. Her name is Nadia, okay? So some of you may have heard me talking about her. I'm going to bring her in now. Okay, so here it is. And make sure that you're unmuted, Nadia, so that we can hear you. Awesome. So, and if you have any questions for Nadia, okay, please leave a comment. And again, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, Nadia will also be reading the comments and will be replying to you, okay? So, I'm just going to share a bit about how Nadia and I met, and then we will go back and forth. So Nadia and I met a couple of years ago. It was when I was doing the Veg Speed Dating events. She reached out to me. She wanted to host an event in Denver for me. And we just started talking and we connected so well. And you know how like some people you just vibe like super amazingly with, and then some people you don't really get that feeling. Well, for Nadia and I, it was like, amazing from the start. And this was years ago, and we've never met in person. I know, it's crazy. Hopefully after COVID, we will actually be able to meet in person finally. But so yeah, and there's a reason why Nadia and I get along so well, and it has to do with our cards. So she's going to tell you a bit more about that. And so leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are on astrology. And I'm guessing because you're watching, it's because you have an interest, you're curious, or whatever it is. But let me know, like, if you're what your thoughts are about astrology. Okay. So Nadia, I will hand it over to you. So if you could please introduce yourself, tell us about your background, a brief, a brief intro about what it is that you do, and you can talk a bit more about, our connection and, why it's so strong.
Great. Thanks for having me. So the reason that I met you actually at the beginning, Karen, was because I was single, and I am now, but at the time with the vegan speed dating, I really wanted to help you out because I was working and studying astrology and the cards. And the cards are a subset of astrology. And I started this fascination with trying to figure people out, basically because my background is in human resources when I worked in the corporate world way back when. And so I was a sociology major in college. And so naturally, I just always am pairing up people and figuring them out on a little bit of a different level. Come to find out later on through the study that I actually am the Two of Clubs, which is a union card that loves to find union in everything. So that made perfect sense. And I started studying a book called The Love Cards in my dating experience, and just got really, really engrossed in studying it, applying it, and then studying astrology as well. And finding that my niche was dating and trying to help people match cards up and understanding their dating style, their love style. And so that was sort of the beginning of just this immersion in what has been this fascinating journey of cards and astrology.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you and I happen to have a great connection, and we have it through the cards. So when I describe the cards to people, should I describe a little bit about our connection?
Yes, I would love that.
Okay, because it's a good one, and it proves that that's how relationships work. So, a relationship isn't just meet you and we have some things in common and great. There's energy behind relationships, and astrology describes that. Energy is where we feel it. And there's different levels of energy. There's love energy, there's knowledge energy, there's money energy, there's sex energy, there's fighting energy, there is debating energy. So when I try to help people with astrology is to just basically put in words what they're already feeling if they're innately connected to it. So when you and I met, your card is the Four of Clubs, and I'm the Two of Clubs. And whenever cards sit next to each other, they have a special arrangement, and 2 cards away is an automatic love Venus card. So you would be Venus to the Six of Clubs and the Two of Clubs. And so guaranteed, if you have any friends that are Six of Clubs, would be like, yep, that's the same feeling that you and I. So immediately there was this draw of feeling, and it was energetic. And that is kind of my fascination with this whole thing, is like, there's a reason why people like each other. It isn't just because they happen to come from worlds that are similar, or, it's not random.
No, it is not random. And I just wanted to mention to those of you watching, for some reason, I'm not able to comment right now for whatever reason. So I apologize, but I am reading your comments. Okay, everyone. So I see that Anu is here, Mardell is here, a couple of others who have not authorized StreamYard, so I'm not able to see who you are. So if you just go to streamyard.com/Facebook and authorize it, I will be able to see your name. That would be awesome. So yeah, so and it's true, Nadia, it's like nothing just happens by chance. There's always like a reason, right? And so I love what you and I were talking about earlier this morning before this call about, and I'd love for you to share a bit more, because astrology means different things to different people, right? And it's not as like woohoo as like people, may like to think. And so I'd love for you to share how you explained it in your words about how it's more about like the energy and honing into your intuition.
Yeah. Well, here's a perfect example. I always give this example, but it's so true, right? The airplane, before we had to wear masks, you sit down next to someone and you just know right away, they haven't even said a word. Oh, I'm going to be friends with that person. And it's not always based on looks. It's just this feeling like, yep, that person's going to be cool. Or you might have one sentence exchanged and you can feel it like in your gut of how you feel about that person. If we were to look at your birthdays, it would describe that same feeling and validate it. And that's such a great way. Or when you're just meeting people at a convention or in a party, you know, some people you just really take to them and you think at the end of that party, wow, I don't know what it was, but that person, completely different life than mine, completely different approach, but I really liked them.
That's awesome. And you said that you were going to share with people watching a bit of my card, and so that people could get a bit of a better understanding of who I am, because it's one thing when I'm like telling you guys, you know, who I am, and I just realized that I totally skipped over my intro because I know that some of you watching are not familiar with me, okay? So I'm just going to give my quick little spiel for those of you who are not too familiar with me, okay? So as I mentioned, right, I'm Karen, but they call me Vegan Cupid, and I am a matchmaker and dating coach, and I love people, I love animals, and I love love, and I am a people connector and a relationship builder. And so that's always been my calling, my gift. And yeah, Nadia and I were just talking about that this morning when she was talking about my card, and she'll tell you more. Like it's in my nature, like to be connecting people together. And you said it yourself, Nadia. Like I love love, and that's my whole thing. So yeah, please share with people watching a bit more about what we discussed this morning.
So your card is actually the mental satisfaction card, both mentally in love and in relationships, and also with just as equal in work, which is so cool because here you are really driven to what you're doing. Work is super important to you. The fours like to work autonomously versus like in a big setting. They're strong, they're smart, and they have good luck in life. So a lot of drive, but the mental satisfaction is really making sure that you connect both people, because you're a club card, so that's knowledge, that's a mental based card, but you're also a Libra as well. And in astrology, the Libra is the planet that follows Libra is Venus, and Venus is love. So automatically, all Libras want union. They want perfection in union, and they are balanced. So you have this real wonderful thing with your cards on showing balance too. Not only do you have one card, but similar in astrology, you have two cards. The one is your primary card, and then you have a planetary ruling card, which I call is like in astrology, the moon card. And your moon card is a Jack of Spades, which is a very creative card. It's also a card of understanding differences in all population and people. So it's like you attach that hardworking and the creative endeavor and that understanding and people connector. It's like a perfect match for what you do. And it's, again, proof that you're doing the right thing. I mean, it's great.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And hopefully it gives you guys a bit more of an insight of who I am and just like why I'm so passionate about this, right? And it's been over 9 years now that I've been helping vegan singles find each other. So that's a long time. And I'm like, you know, more passionate than ever about helping people find love. And it's because I love love. Like I'm a total relationship person, and I've been very fortunate. I feel like I've been very fortunate because I had, you know, a 15-year marriage with a great man, and it wasn't all bad. And obviously, you know, things didn't work out, but I still had, you know, a really, you know, pretty great relationship. And then I was able to find love again, and now I've been in a relationship with him for 2 years, and I really envision spending the rest of my life with him, right? So I just, you know, I really want to share that with people. So I would love to, you know, get to know everyone a little better, okay, in my group. So if you're watching this, please, you know, leave a comment with your sign, and then also tell me your birth date. So I don't need the year, I just need the date and the month. And then after we finish this video, so not during this live video, but afterwards, Nadia and I are going to have a look at the comments, and we're just going to see, just for the fun of it, to see if there are, if we can spot out any potential matches purely just based on that. Okay, so we're going to do a fun little game with it. So again, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, just say what your sign is, and then Nadia will know what it is, but I want to know because I feel like I really connect really well with other Libras. My closest friends have been Libras, and so I just want to know what your sign is, and then the date and the month that will show Nadia what card is associated with your birth date, and then we'll just have a bit of fun with that. And I do want to say, that some of my clients are pretty, and some of you watching, you may be skeptical about astrology, right? And so for me, it's not like the end all and be all. It's just a tool that I use to confirm what my intuition is telling me, because I've developed, my intuition over the years, and it's pretty spot on. And so I really listen to it. I listen to it when I'm doing my Cupid calls. I'm listening to it when I'm thinking of a potential match for a client. So I really rely on it, right? And so basically, and we'll talk a bit more in a minute, but when I have a potential match in mind for a client, I will reach out to Nadia and I will give them both their birthdays. And this is like, at the point where I have a really, really good feeling about two people. And so Nadia and I will talk about it. She'll check the cards and then she'll tell me. And most of the time, 9 out of 10, she's confirmed what my thoughts were about two people. So it's pretty amazing. And all of my, a lot of my clients, they have a session with Nadia, and again, they're very skeptical at first, but then they surprise themselves, right? Just after one session, they become more open-minded. And so, Nadia, if you could tell us a bit more about, how astrology really relates to dating, and you can give examples of, some of my clients that you've spoken with. Of course, we respect everyone's privacy, so we never mention names. But if you could just share a bit more about what it's been like, so that people can get a better understanding for what it is that you do, and how we work together on this.
I want to chime in because, Karen, your intuition is so spot on. And I'm just validating your intuition. You're so good at it. And we've had at least 3 opportunities, if not 4 or 5, to match other people and validate your intuition. So what I call myself is the validator. Everybody has it. It's just that we all have to hone in on that skill a little bit more. And why not do it now? Like, now's the time to not feel like you're just going in blindsided of not knowing much about yourself. So the first thing is for people who are interested in astrology and want to meet with me is finding out more about yourself. It's so much fun. Don't you want to just learn about yourself all the time? Okay. You want to just go off and tell you all about yourself. But in any case, it's that at that point, there is each birthday, and I love how people are writing in their birthdays. And I was jotting down while you were talking, like all the birthdays, but is that each birthday shows up a very special way in love. Some people have challenges, others have a little bit less. They're just like in life. There are people who just have hard knocks, and then there's others who just kind of float by pretty well. It has a lot to do with the day they were born. And so the cards, which I stress most because it's a really quick way, one, to teach the client what their card is quickly and how to identify other cards. Whereas astrology, you need to have a chart done, and it's really informative, but it's a lot of work. And I do both, but I like the cards first. For you and I really work together with the cards because it energetically shows that there are specific cards that show up in specific ways. So one card will have a multitude of other cards that do well with it, but there's different levels. And I can do it long-handed. There's actually a system where you can draw in 2 cards. But I have software for that, so it really helps. So a lot of times your clients will come together who've already been suited up and feeling that really positive energy. Today I'm meeting one where they felt it right away, and you found it, I confirmed it, and now they're so excited they want to learn about it. And what's so cool is they're feeling the energy that you and I talk about.
And I just want to point out, you guys, that the photo that for the preview of this live, where it was a screenshot of my phone, so that's who Nadia is talking about, right? So I got on the phone with this man, and within 15 minutes, I knew who he would be like a perfect match for. And I don't like to say perfect because nothing's perfect, but I just had like this crazy feeling. And I was like, wow, I have to introduce these two people together. I have to. I was telling him all about her, and then I told her all about him. And then I reached out to Nadia, and she checked, and she's like, yeah, there's definitely a really great energetic match. And so I made the introduction, and then the next day I got that text from him. Okay, so look, I'll post a photo again later so that you guys can read it, but it was just like amazing. And so he was just like shocked by how much they had in common, how well they connected together. And so it just like it's amazing, you guys. Like I love having this gift that I can share, and then just like having Nadia part of it as well is just like it's awesome.
So, and when a client comes to me, I don't expect them. They're not going to understand any of this. So really what's really important is for me to put it in terms that they understand and can do something with it. I want you to walk away with a tool from the toolbox, right? So one is understanding your card better and really thoroughly understanding the issues behind your card, the good and the bad. And it's good to know, what are your challenges in love? What do you need to work on? This is a whole lifetime that you have so many opportunities to feel this and to experience it. Make it fun. So we really bring a very positive light to it. We all have our stories from the past, but that could have been a card that wasn't a great match. Now you have an opportunity to learn something new and bring that into the new you. So it's all about growth at that point too, and to help them feel empowered. So when they work with you and they go back to you, Karen, they're that much more wiser. Who couldn't use that, right? And I used it for my dating experiences and had great luck. I actually had more fun on dates because I had questions to ask them. Well, tell me your birthday. Do you show up this way? Do you show up this way? Tell me about your experience. And there's so many more things to talk about once you have a little more tools in that toolbox. So
for sure. And let's talk briefly also about the blind love experiment, right? Because a couple of weeks ago I had Joe on live, and we did an after the blind love experiment, and I mentioned you on there. And so for those of you who did not watch it, basically, it was a game, like it was a live thing where I presented Joe, who was an actual client of mine. I presented him with, I found 3 matches for him. These 3 women were from my Veg Love Vault. We did this show. Nobody could see each other's faces. And I talked with Nadia, of course, ahead of time. I told her who I picked. She predicted who Joe would pick. And not only that, but she predicted that he would pick who he would pick, but that it wouldn't actually work out. But that he had a really strong connection with the 2 other women until this day. And this happened like maybe 3-4 months ago. I can't keep track anymore. So he is still exploring the possibility with both of the women. He hasn't met them yet because of COVID and because they don't live in the same area, but he's still talking to them. And Nadia knew this based on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's just profound. I actually had totally written it out for you so that nobody could argue that I didn't, and I said, I had no pretense. When you come to visit with me and we meet for the first time, and I do all my calls on Zoom because I think face-to-face is so critical, and I pull up and show visuals so you can understand it. And I describe all those little details. And that's what I did, was like, there is a reason for each energetic connection and what it can show up. Our lives have issues and things that we're dealing with, but if the energy shows it, you can work with it. you're free to do whatever you want. And whether it's going to be successful or not is totally up to you. That's your communication style. You're willing to put in your best foot. You're not bringing in baggage, all that. But there's this stuff really works. And there is a very special connection that is found in most marriages. And it is a planetary connection called sun and moon. And whenever I see it in a spread, and you're so good at feeling it, Karen, every time you show me matches that you're excited about, there is usually that energy or another energy that's really close to it. And the sun and the moon mean that when you meet that person, you feel like you're sharing interests, you're sharing goals, and this is energetic when I talk about it. It's like, it's almost natural, like, and it's like when you make a best friend when you're at school and you don't know why, but you just feel that person shares their life experiences similar to you. Same thing. And
yeah, and sorry, I have a great example also to just like, reinforce this even more. So you guys, I've explained at the beginning, like Nadia and I share a very special connection, and we always have, and it's been like amazing. And we've talked a lot, right? We've both been through a lot of different things, lots of different stages in our lives, but we've always had this amazing connection. And again, without even ever meeting face to face, right? And so Joe and I shared a very special connection as well. Like I vibed with him so well. We got along so well. We have so much fun together. Like when we did the blind love experiment, when we did like the video together, like we had a blast together. And so, and you can see Nadia, you can see that she's amazing. She's super warm. My clients love her. And when she had her session with Joe, she knew ahead of time that she wouldn't have that strong of a connection with him based on the cards. And it was right, Nadia? Like, and it's not like you didn't get along. There was just something there. It was not the kind of connection that Joe and I shared. And again, like Joe and I's card, like they mesh really, really well. So yeah, it's amazing how often this works. And yeah.
One of the things that I do before a client actually comes forward and gets on the Zoom call is, of course, I know their birthday, is I'll look up my connection to them to see where I need to work on it with them and where the energy is. Are they going to listen to me? Sometimes there's a connection where they won't listen to me as well as I'll listen to them, or vice versa. And I actually bring that up so that they don't feel strange about it, because 9 times out of 10, they're already feeling it. I'm validating energy. That's what I always say. I'm just validating what you should intuitively know. And if you don't, work on that muscle. Allow yourself to go with your gut. Sometimes I have to tell people, like, if they're really feeling insecure about their own opinions or feelings, is meditation and taking quiet time is immensely helpful. We all have it in us to feel energy, and taking that time to work with it. So yeah, I agree. Like there's times when you get along really. We've had it reverse too, where I've had clients that, may not be as excited over, something that you would have talked about with them, but yeah, we talk about it and it totally flows. It's a fascinating thing how it goes back and forth. It's crazy. And understanding and saying, even when you're dating, like, I accept the fact that this energy doesn't feel great. You're a great person. Don't take it personally. Let's move on and really everybody should be looking for their energetic perfect match. It's out there.
Yeah. And so, and I just want to talk a bit more, go more into, how Nadia and I work together again. So basically, anybody that joins my 10-week program who has an interest in astrology, and even if they're not super interested, because I've had clients in the past be, again, skeptical, like I mentioned before, but they were open to it because, by the time people find me and start working with me, they've tried a lot of different things, right? Like they felt discouraged, they've lost hope, and they come to me because they want the help, they want the support and the guidance. So they kind of listen and take my advice on these kinds of things. So so whenever, if you become a client, when you join my 10-week program, you get a session with Nadia. And that, to me, again, I don't push it, right? It's just if you want to. It's an incredible gift, an incredible opportunity. Nadia does not work with just anyone, but she does work with all of my clients. Okay, so that's a bonus, an extra bonus of working with me. And I actually have, as part of the 10-week program, a bonus module that is all about astrology and dating. And so you have access to Nadia, when you're working with me in the 10-week program, via the client only private Facebook group, as well as the weekly the weekly group coaching calls that I do with my clients, right? So Nadia is really part of the whole process so that she can assist you as much as possible. And again, if you're totally not into it's fine, right? We don't push anything. We just use this as an additional tool to be able to help you on your journey to finding love, because finding love all starts with you, right? It all starts within you, and you have to learn how to love yourself. You have to get clear on who it is that you are, what kind of partner you are truly looking for, and be able to recognize who you are better matched with, right? And again, astrology is one tool that you can use. There's attachment styles, love languages, all kinds of things that help you kind of assess who makes a better match for you, right? But it's a whole kind of like integrative approach. I'm assuming that you're watching this. I don't like to make assumptions, but my guess is, if you are watching this, you have an interest in astrology, and I hope that that you're really excited about this and see the incredible value of of working with me and Nadia as well, because like we have so much fun together. And yeah, so if you have any questions, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, please post them. We will both reply to all the comments, and we would love to hear from you. But yeah, so if you're watching live and you have any questions, now is a good time to post them, because we do have a few minutes left to do so. So go ahead and post them. So yeah, Nadia, do you have any other final thoughts to share about someone who is thinking about exploring this further?
Mm-hmm. In that, and I wanted to walk someone through as what happens when they first meet with me. So the first thing that I do, and that 45-minute phone call that your clients get, is the really talking about the cards and how it can work for them, talking about how their past, and I don't like to bring up a lot of the past, but we can look at some patterns or explain how that relationship might have turned out the reason it did energetically, if the client is looking for that. I'm really open to the client kind of telling me where their journey is. Again, I'm working with energy, so I'm picking up on their energy. And one of the things that this has opened up for me is allowing me to get sort of internal feedback on what's best for them. And so I'll make suggestions to the client, like, let's work more on looking at your year and what kind of energy this year holds for you, if there's love or if it's money or both, and how that's going to play out, so that it sets the stage for the energy towards whatever they want to do. You've got to be aligned with all the things all the plans you're making and feelings that you want and goals that you have for the year. So it validates it. And we could go that direction. Some people want to do love matches already. They've got somebody they're interested in, or they're starting to date, or you've set them up and they really want to talk about how that plays out. So we can talk about that. There's a lot of aspects of astrology. I also, and we've been talking a lot about the cards, but I do the astrology chart as well. I have software I can look and many of the clients who really grasp this want to keep going and learning more about themselves. And I just made a new purchase recently, which takes astrology chart and puts them together, overlays it, and then we report on it and look at it on how two people will have long-term. And that in itself is a few sessions. So there's a lot we can cover for that person. And it's, you know, it's all where you feel your comfort is. And then if you're connecting with it, it's really important that they connect with it. We only move on once the connection is made, with the understanding, feeling like they're getting stuff out of it. And I'm constantly checking in with the client as well. Like, is this serving you? Is this where you need to put your energy in?
Right. And it's not a simple thing, right? There's a lot of layers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you know, that's another reason why, like, I don't do one-on-one sessions with people, because it requires so much more than just one session, right? It's really it takes time. So that's why, you know, my program is 10 weeks. And so Michelle is asking, how do I determine my cards and who I'd match well with? So Nadia has a chart, and yeah, you can
So
explain, Nadia.
Google, and I'm sorry, I've got my shiny light on this one, but if you Google cards of life or cards of destiny. So here's a little fun tip. Take the person's birthday in the search, in your Google search. So your birthday, and then right after the tagline, write cards of destiny. And it will bring you into some different options. But there is a site that offers a free card description, and it's called Seven Reflections, I believe it's called, or seven something. And that way you can read your card and first identify with it. That's just a little short scenario, but that's a great way to find out your card. As far as matching, you're going to want to study the cards or come see me. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's a really fabulous study. And there's no secret here. This book is called The Love Cards by Robert Camp. And he's written 2 or 3, 4, 5 books, actually. And you just keep getting more and more knowledge. If you are the kind of person who really wants to study this, my recommendation is get the book, but also schedule in time to see me, and I can give you tips on how to learn it. And I've had clients that have actually wanted me to teach them how to find that perfect match. Takes time, but it's worth the effort.
And again, it's like all these things, right? These are all things that you could do on your own, but just like finding love, right? But people come to me because they've tried a lot of different things, mm-hmm. and they haven't been able to do it on their own. So working with someone like myself and Nadia, it really fast tracks things, right? It's all about saving time, and you know, so that's why, again, these are all things you can do on your own, but it's not as fun doing it on your own. It's way more fun doing it along with someone and having the support and the guidance and from someone, and the accountability as well, right? So thank you, Michelle, for that great question.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So let's see here. Mardell, hey Mardell, she says thank you. And so so Nadia and I were actually thinking about doing, and we did this in the past, a Zoom hangout on astrology. So, you know, I have different themes for my Zoom hangouts, right? Like wine lovers, 2 weeks from now, it's fitness lovers. I'm doing spiritual vegans, atheists. I'm doing LGBTQ. So I'm doing all these different themes to try to unite people together beyond just being vegan and single, right? So if you would be super down for an astrology Zoom hangout with other vegan singles, leave a comment, okay? And let me know. Mardell is saying yes. And Mardell has, she's been to one of my hangouts. She loved it so much that she signed up for another one. So if any of you are hesitating, you know, coming to a hangout, post in the group, and others will share their experiences. But really, it's tons of fun, okay? So I would love to see you there. Michelle also says that would be lovely. Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. So yeah, so, you know, thank you so much, Nadia, for being here. I really appreciate it. And so for any of you watching, if you are ready to take the next big chapter of your life, if you're ready to go all in, if you're ready to say yes to yourself and invest in yourself and invest in your future, because you are totally worth it. Okay, friendly reminder, book a call with me. Let's talk. And, you know, we'll decide together if we think that my program is the right fit for you. And I would love to be there along on the journey with you, you know, if it works out. And if you're not quite ready to book a call with me, that's totally fine. In the meantime, like I mentioned before, you can check out my free Cupid class. It'll give you even more of a better understanding of who I am, what I do, and how I can assist you. And you can also get in the Veg Love Vault, right? So that's my free database that I use to find great potential matches for my clients. You also get on my email list when you get into there. So you find out about all my live videos, the Zoom hangouts, all the awesome stuff that I do. And of course, you can unsubscribe at any time. So there's no pressure. And yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. Okay. So somebody else is saying down for Zoom hangout. Okay. So I guess we got to do it, Nadia. So,
Oh, I
so
love it.
September is totally full. I'm doing 3 in September, so it's gonna have to be October. And October, you know, I'm a Libra, so October is my birthday. Um,
So,
but yeah, we will find a date in October to do this. And yeah, so thank you so much again, everyone, for watching. Stay in touch, and I will see you live next week. Bye.